If they're tea drinkers, they haven't told me. What I'm saying, I'm not sure. That was disgusting. So our weekend was super just laid back and relaxing. And on Sunday morning, we decided to try out going to a restaurant with Baby Fox, and it was a success. It's just like a really nice way to end the weekend. The rest of the day on Sunday was just really laid back and nice. So we are clearing out our crazy, insane basement right now because I want to turn this into my studio space. So, yeah, enjoy this crazy adventure. It is absolutely still a work in progress, but it is my thought that this little corner here is going to kind of be my space for my wheel. Kind of trying to figure out these shelves, if there's a way that I can like repurpose those. This is the comfy couch that was in my parents' house when I was growing up, so kind of excited to have that here. So I'm gonna set my visual timer for half an hour and just give myself that time to just kind of work down here and try and organize and figure out my plan for what I'm doing. Yeah, it's gonna take a lot of creativity and a lot of work on my part here. Topher did an incredible job clearing things out and making even being able to start this process possible, so I'm very thankful. I'm really overwhelmed. Does this happen to my other ADHD friends, or is it just me? You guys, I'm so excited. I just spotted my shop vac, and I thought that maybe I didn't have this anymore and that my ex-husband took it, but it's here. That makes like cleanup for any kind of ceramics work like so much more doable. So very thrilled that development. Friends, I'm just gonna chit chat with you while I clean up the mess that was made by little Fox this morning when he discovered my box of super tips. That's okay, we're gonna clean it up here. So it is the second to last day of school. It's currently super hot out. It's like 86 in our house right now, and it's like noon. It's like it's so hot, but you know, we spend all winter long talking about how we can't wait for it to be warm out, so here we are. Welcome. It is the warm weather season. On a reading note, I have started Grady Hendrix, How to Sell a Haunted House. I'm like 100 pages in. So far, I can say that the brother Mark seems like a jerk, but it's also being told from the sister's perspective, so like a biased telling of the story by Louise. So we'll see, because like it's like, what reason does he have to be a jerk? So I'm curious to see where that goes. I know this book got a little bit of criticism because people were like, oh, it's not really about a haunted house. It's about like dolls and puppets. Because the mom has like this huge collection of puppets and dolls and like was a member of like this like puppeteering group and stuff. I'm really entertained because my mom actually makes puppets. Like, she's not like a professional puppeteer, but she really likes puppets, and she has fun making them. So and she just kind of like, you know, is always like experimenting and that kind of thing, and she's like making puppets for like Fox and stuff. So which is super cute. It's not like creepy haunted puppets like in here. So, but I want to read this at a pretty good clip so that then I can lend it to her so that she can read it too. Because I think that she will, I think that she'll enjoy it. I'm only 100 pages in, so I guess I don't really know at all. So on page 54 and 55, this same sentence happens twice, and that is like such a huge pet peeve for me. It's like, you didn't have any other way you could say that. Louise is talking to her sister Constance, and she's like, your cousin, she's a really big realtor in the area. And it says, that took Louise by surprise. And then it goes on to explain why it took her by surprise. And then, Mercy's a fruitcake, Constance said. I once wore a magnet in my underpants for 2 weeks to make her happy because she told me it would realign my electrical field. Mark's no weirder than the rest of your family. That took Louise by surprise. And it's like, wow, Louise is really surprised. It's verbatim the same. Ooh, that makes me so annoyed. And then it's like, okay, so she says Mercy's a fruitcake, Constance's sister. And it's like a few pages later, on 55, they called Mercy a fruitcake. On page 58, the sentence comes up that says, Louise knew that after Freddie died, her grandparents had shipped her mother around like an unwanted Christmas fruitcake. Oh, man, I don't know. So I get really annoyed when there's like repetition in language that doesn't seem intentional. It's not done to be like funny or comical. It's just like lazy. So, which I'm not calling Grady Hendrix lazy. I'm not saying that. I'm just really annoyed. So I'm going to try and not nitpick like that. But when things jump out at you, not because of what the sentence is saying, but the way that it's being said, that's annoying and it takes you out of the story. Like a 3-page span, 4-page span, like having those two run-ins, I was just like, woo, frustrated. Hello there, friends. I am attempting to attach a handle to a mug that I forgot about, so it's extremely dry, and so I'm just trying to attach this. We'll see. If the handle breaks, I'll just pull some more and whatever. But yeah, so I figured I would just chit chat with you while I was doing this. The baby is napping. It wants to be at the bottom or at the top? I think I want it to be at the bottom. I don't know. What am I saying? I'm not sure. just wanted to share some quick final thoughts on Grady Hendrix, How to Sell a Haunted House. I finished this I finished it like a week or two ago, so I am making this like way after the fact. I definitely think that this was just a 3-star for me. I didn't hate it, but I did have a hard time just having sympathy for the main characters, Louise and Mark. I actually really liked the character of Pumpkin and how he was done, but there are definitely lots of those like classic like Grady Hendrix ick, gross, grotesque descriptions and violent scenes and things like that. So there's still a lot of that in here. That was disgusting. But I did feel like it dragged on and it felt like it should be done, and it kept going and going and going. Part of me wonders if that is kind of like simulating what Louise was going through and how for her it felt like this ordeal kept going and going. I can kind of get behind it, but also at the same time, like I just was like no longer having a good time. So I would say to check your trigger warnings because there is some pretty upsetting stuff in here, some pretty heavy topics. There were just like some scenes that really stuck with me, especially as a mother to a young child. If that's something that might be difficult for you, maybe look into it. But I did have like some trouble kind of figuring out like what the rules of this universe was. Or are we dealing with the paranormal, or are we also dealing with a level of mental illness? I'm not sure. I just kind of had a little bit of trouble there, and as I got to the end of the book, some of those questions were still unanswered for me. So I would love to know what your experience was like, because I feel like the response to it has been kind of all over.